Bonjour and welcome back to Karnak for the final two races to be sailed today, which is going to decide who the champions will be on that Mark Foy trophy. It's all come down to this. The second discard comes into play today on race 10. We've had 9 races so far, and the first race today will be race 10. And in my view, on paper, it looks like that's the race that will decide who it's going to be that's on that trophy this year, and it's going to be fought between the very consistent Benny and the not so consistent but spectacular Slam. So as I was saying, it's all come down to this. It remains to be seen whether Slam can deliver the final blow to Benny, and to do that he must win this next race, race 10, and follow it up with a win in race 11. Not all that impossible when you consider that Slam has had already 5 bullets in this regatta, but he's just been inconsistent when it came to an OCS, and he didn't start in that race where he had that spectacular crash at the back of the start line. And yesterday, unfortunately for him, he had an 11th, which he's had to carry. Whereas Robbie Greenough, his worst place in this regatta is a 7th. And as we said right from the get-go, that you need to be very consistent. And to be consistent in this regatta, you've got to get off that start line and be in the first 6. So if Slam is to win this, as we said, he needs to win this first race, and he needs to back it up with a win in race 11. On the other hand, Benny has to finish outside 5th in both of those races. It's not impossible either, because we know that it's very easy to get tangled up in that line, but Robbie Greenough and his guys know how to be clean, at least up until this point they do. So the interest will be on this next race, and that's going to be where it's going to be won or lost by those 2 boats. Now throughout this regatta we've seen some very consistent performances early, and they were from Asco and Macquarie. Howie Hamlin, the US entrant in this championship. Howie's been associated with the 18-footer class and other classes for a long time now. He's done a very good job with renting a boat off the league, Macquarie. He's had to come into this regatta and set it up the way he likes it, and he's shown improvement all the way through this regatta. Right up until yesterday, he got his first win. So it's not to say that Howie can't keep going with that sort of performance, but he is really not going to get into this first top 2. Best he can do in this regatta is a 3rd, and it'll be a well-deserved 3rd at that. So as for the rest of them, well, as we said, just not consistent enough. There's been a lot of trouble off that start line, and their game is over. All they can do is fight for the minor places. So looking at the racetrack, we're going to be out on the water. Start time today is 1 o'clock. They bought it finished because they want to do the presentation so everybody can pack up and get away. But looking out there now, it's a nice solid little breeze. Been in all morning, bit of rain around. Maybe looking at 10 knots steady, gusting 12, so that's really ideal. That will be a good test for this final day. So we're going to be out in the water. Prior to that, we'll go and interview a couple of the guys and just get their feelings on it, and we'll see you back in the park later. With Howie Hamlin, Macquarie, Mr. Rent-A-Boat. Howie, you seem to make this a habit of renting boats these days and have to go to all the trouble of tuning them, and in this regatta you've done a pretty good job because you got your first win yesterday. Could be a bit late that.
Yeah, it's kind of fun actually, you know, sailing here with Fritz, Lanzinger, Matt, Noble for the first time in this combination, and sailing a different boat. You know, we've got a lot of stuff to kind of work out as a team and work out using a different boat, so we've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you're an old stager at knowing how to string these regattas together. You've got to be consistent from the get-go, and you've done that. It's just unfortunate you can't bridge the gap today. On paper, it would appear that you're going to finish 3rd in this regatta. You've got to be happy, though.
Yeah, I'm happy with that, you know, especially borrowing a boat and all that.
Yeah, that's nice. And Howie will be sailing this boat in San Francisco in a few months' time, and this has been a big rig regatta, so I'm sure you're looking forward to getting the second rig tuned and really having a blast back in your home waters.
It will be fun. Actually, we're going to use our old boat in San Francisco.
Oh, is that right? Okay, well, that'll be a lot of fun. That's you like tearing up and down that place.
Yeah, it's good.
Good luck today, Howie.
Thanks.
Grant Rollison in the boat park. Last day of racing, Grant. You've got to get 2 bullets today, mate. How are you going to pull that off?
We've got to get 2 bullets, and the first boat's got to have a dreadful couple of races, so we're just got to do our best, I guess.
Exactly, and the pressure mounts as soon as you get out in the water, because it's got to be race 10.
10.
that you've got to get the bullet in the first one out of the block. So
we've got no leeway to play with.
No. Mentally, good. You big night last night.
Just emptied the brain out in the bar and in the toilet, and you know, so it's all loose as a goose.
I like that, and I like the look of that big stein that you had in your hand last night. I've never seen a beer glass as big as that in my life. So.
Yeah, well, ran out of the club and they wanted €57 deposit, so it was worth something to them as well.
Yeah, I bet. Well, listen, mate, good luck. You're the Australian hope, the great Australian hope today. So all our wishes go with you, pal.
Oh, cheers, Kilo. We'll do our best. We'll roll up our sleeves and get it done.
Fantastic.
And then we'll have a beer afterwards.
Yeah, you bet.
Beaut. Cheers.
With Rob Greenough off the Benny, leader of this regatta, won 2 races a sail. Rob, last night I didn't see you out, so you must have been in bed, were you?
Oh, we were out for a short while, but we tried to get to bed relatively early. Big day today, just got to, you know, it's up to us to lose it, so no need to make a silly mistake.
Yeah, that's the way we sort of, I think everybody's calculated that way. So your mindset should be to go out and just put a bullet away in the first race and shut it down.
Yeah, our aim would go out and try to win the first race. A top 4 seals it for us, so we'll aim to just go out and win the first race or do as best we can. The other guys have, you know, Rollo's got to win 2 races and Howie's got to win 2 races as well, essentially. So we're in reasonable shape.
Yeah, there is still the risk though. I mean, we've seen the problems getting off this start line. You've done a good job of it so far, but you just got to be so careful not to get tangled up behind that start, because that's where the real danger is, the way I see it.
Absolutely, getting clean out the blocks is essential, and often you give away bias on the line, so you can got some space. And then obviously with such a short beat, trying to pick your way back onto port tack and get across the fleet up to where the mark is tricky. So it's sometimes some calculated risk there, really. Yeah,
the guys have been sailing well together with you, as Phil and Dan. You've looked good out in the water the whole regatta. So consistency, good team performance, and boat speed. That's just about locks it up. Bit of good luck after that, and you're there.
Yeah, Dan and Phil have sailed really well. Obviously we've had a little practice, but everyone's done it before, so we know what to do. We've sailed tactically pretty well. We've started well. The speed's been perfectly good. So I mean, it's all the simple stuff you get right, and it all sort of pans out for you.
Good luck, Rob. We expect to see you on the first on the podium this afternoon after the racing.
Cheers, Kilo. Well, we hope to be there.
Good on you.